Kids today are very unlucky. The reason that they are so unlucky is that they never got to experience the Disney Channel games. If you don't know what the Disney Channel games are, I am so sorry, because they are amazing. Every summer when I was a kid, a bunch of the biggest stars on Disney Channel would come together and form teams to compete in a bunch of challenges. It was the best thing ever. I got to see all of the actors from my favorite shows go head to head in awesome games. I looked forward to it every year. I remember one time I told my parents, summer is my favorite season. Do you know why? They said, because there's no school and you can go on vacation. And I was like, oh, yeah, that too. But I was gonna say, because that's when the Disney Channel games are on. It was a big deal for a lot of kids back then. Now, I haven't seen any of the Disney Channel games since they first aired, so I thought it would be fun if we watch them now and see if they're as amazing as I remember them being, or if they're way better when you're a kid. So today we'll be going through the first annual Disney Channel games from 2006 and seeing if they're fun and spectacular or cheesy and lame. Let's do this. The games begin by introducing us to our hosts, Phil Lewis and Brian Stepanek from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. The crowd is behind them and they are hyped. Just seeing how excited they are gets me amped up. Now it's time to meet our teams filled with Disney stars. On the blue team, we have The Sweet Life's Brenda Song and Cole Sprouse, Hannah Montana's Jason Earls, and High School Musical's Vanessa Hudgens, Corbin Bleu, and Monique Coleman. On the green team is That's So Raven's Kyle Massey, High School Musical's Ashley Tisdale and Lucas Graybiel, and Hannah Montana's Miley Cyrus, Emily Osment, and Mitchell Musso. They call Miley the new kid on the block when introducing her, which I found very funny.
She's the new kid on the block from Hannah Montana. It's Miley Cyrus.
Like, little did they know that she would basically own Disney Channel for a few years. Finally, on the red team is High School Musical's Zac Efron, The Sweet Life's Dylan Sprouse, That's So Raven's Annalise Vanderpool, Hannah Montana's Moises Arias, Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warriors' Shin Koyamada, and Read It and Weep's Kay Panabaker. Alright, we've met the teams, so let's get the Disney Channel games started. The first event is an obstacle course, and we get to see some interviews with the stars where they talk about the race.
Inflatable objects? Yeah, I'm very experienced with inflatable objects. I love inflatable pools. I had an inflatable dog once.
Oh, these interviews are going to be good.
It all depends on who they size me up with. Hopefully it's a girl. Hopefully it's someone of equal value, so it's a good challenge.
Ah, Lucas, how could you say such a thing?
We have Shin from Wendy Wu, and he is one of the most athletic people that I've ever seen. We call him Spider Shin.
Really, Zach? You call him Spider Shin? You know, somehow I doubt that. So throughout the entire event, they have "Don't try this at home" on the screen, which is funny because I'm pretty sure you can rent these inflatables for birthday parties. In round one, Vanessa beats Ashley, and then they interview her, and you can tell that she just has no clue what to say.
Now, how was it getting through that obstacle course? You made it through pretty quick.
It was tough. I kept low and I'm beat.
In round two, Lucas gets destroyed by Spider Shin. However, Shin jumped down the slide instead of actually sliding, which is against the rules, so they have to do a rematch. Also, Lucas complains about sunscreen on his hands.
Sunscreen!
Here, come here for a second.
I put on sunscreen. I slipped.
Naturally, Spider Shin wins the rematch. Then Zach beats Corbin, but they also have to do a rematch because Zach decided to do a flip down the slide. The rematch seems pointless to me though, because Corbin wasn't going to win anyway. Zach wins again and then gives a fantastic interview.
How did you feel?
I don't know. Can't really think right now.
A little lightheaded?
I'm a little tired.
The next event is rock, paper, scissors. I thought they would try to make it fun by doing it with giant props or something, but no, it's literally just rock, paper, scissors. Maybe the first Disney Channel games didn't have as big of a budget as it did in later years. Anyway, let's have Miley tell us the history of rock, paper, scissors.
It's originally from China. They made that up, so, go China!
The first round is Kyle versus Moises, and they have some fake beef. Moises intimidates him by breakdancing.
Oh, look at those moves. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not part of the rock, paper, scissors ritual.
They try to make the competition really interesting with multiple angles and amazing commentary, but at the end of the day, it's still just rock, paper, scissors. It's also really hard to hear what anyone is saying because the hosts, stars, and referee are all talking over each other.
How many breaks do they get? If there's any delays, they shouldn't get any, Phil. This is, there we go. I personally have seen people get disqualified.
Kyle beats Moises, Emily beats Brenda, and Cole beats Dylan. The final round is Miley versus Vanessa. Miley's intimidation tactic is randomly laughing.
Okay, let's do that.
Here we go.
This round goes on for a while, but Vanessa is victorious in the end. Next up is the hamster ball relay.
I actually have owned a hamster. So this is gonna be great because I actually have connected with a hamster in a real hamster ball. So I have it running in my mind right now about how it's gonna be, and I'm gonna act just like my hamster Narf. That was his name, by the way.
God, I love these interviews. Lucas and Monique are the first competitors, and it's a photo finish. While Brian reviews the tape to see who won, Lucas talks about the cheap shot Monique took at him.
The cheap shot at the second turnaround was a little unexpected, but actually, no, it was a little expected, but you know, that's cool.
Ooh, we've got some drama. Brian comes back and says that he accidentally deleted the tape, so they'll have to do a rematch. Okay, I think that we all know that that didn't really happen. Brian was not actually reviewing a tape, and even if he was and he deleted it, there's a bunch of other cameras around, including the one we saw. I want to know the real reason they needed to do a rematch. What happened? Why did they come up with this lie that Brian deleted the footage? I'm so confused. Anyway, they race again and Lucas wins. In the next round, Brenda beats Moises, but they make them do a rematch too. And they're really not clear on the reason why. They're just kind of like, I don't know, Brenda was fast and ran into Moises a few times. Why are they so obsessed with rematches? They go again, and to no one's surprise, Brenda still wins. Then for the final round, Corbin races Lucas again for some reason. Why did he go twice? Lucas wins, probably because he's very experienced in hamster racing by now. The next event is the dunk tank, and Miley very eloquently tells us her strategy.
You know, I'd like to keep it fresh. I like to keep it fun, you know, kind of, you know, shock everyone else. I want them to think that I'm not gonna be very good at all the sporting events, but then when it comes down to it, bam! I'm gonna come out and just rock the world.
Yeah, I think that'll work. Zach dunks poor little Cole and looks very smug about it. Brenda is unable to dunk Kyle, so she runs up to the button and presses it, and he gets dropped in the water anyway. Cole is able to dunk Kyle, but he also just runs up and presses the button. This dude is getting wrecked. Now it's Moises' turn to get dunked, and he's talking a lot of smack, but he just kind of sounds like a chipmunk.
Up against Moises, Arias.
At one point, Miley shows up out of nowhere and presses the button on him. These Disney Channel stars are brutal. The red and blue team compete in alphabet Goop, where they have to pull letters out of this stuff and spell a word. I'd like to note that this is the first time Kay and Annalise have been in an event. Where did they go? The blue team arrives and does a sick chant. The blue team wins and they chant again. Then the blue team beats the green team in an egg toss. This is another instance of them trying to make what they're doing look super cool with the editing, but it's just egg toss. There's a limit to how interesting that can be. Next is the mountain relay with the green and red teams. So for this relay, you have to make a basket, then human wheelbarrow over here, and finally climb this inflatable mountain. The green team wins because Zach takes too long trying to make a basket. I'm sorry, what? Get your head in the game himself couldn't make a basket? The blue team wins a quiz game, and then it's time for the final event, Simon Says. A quiz game and Simon Says. Yeah, these events are nowhere near as awesome as I remember them being. Brian plays the part of Simon, and every member of every team participates. They really draw this game out with multiple commercial breaks, and Phil tries to make it seem epic with his commentary.
Oh, it looks like it. Oh, now the blue team has quite an advantage here as we take a look at the instant replay.
Monique is the last one standing, meaning the blue team wins. But then Brian makes her play one last round where she has to shove a pie in her face. The price of winning is too high. Now it's time for the closing ceremonies, and oh yeah, the excited crowd is back. Most of the closing ceremonies is just highlights from the games and shots of Phil and Brian dancing around while they monologue. Finally, in the last 3 minutes of the show, they announce who won the games. There really isn't any hype or build-up at all, they just kind of say it.
The winner is the blue team!
Hooray for the blue team! They all get medals and a trophy, bringing the first annual Disney Channel Games to a close. You know, I mentioned this a few times throughout the video, but the actual games themselves were not as amazing as I remember. I mean, they played rock, paper, scissors, egg toss, and Simon Says. That's kind of lame. I think it's just gotta be that they didn't have a huge budget for the first one, because I know for a fact the challenges were better in later years. So if you want me to make videos on the other games, definitely let me know. I would love to revisit them. The year that I remember the most is when Selena Gomez was on the yellow team, because I was a big fan of her and I really wanted her to win. I do hope that later years keep the interview segments though, because that was honestly my favorite part.
I've climbed a mountain. There's a mountain next to my house. It's called Cardboard Hill. I climb it all the time.
But okay, I think that does it for me and the Disney Channel games for today. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe to see more content from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
It's bad out there. Here, come here for a second.
I put on